Hi guys, this is Prasid Banerjee from Digit.in. Today we are looking at the Lenovo S860 smartphone, which is Lenovo's offering in this country in the mid-range. It's around 22,000. Lenovo is priced at around 23,000 actually. It's also available on Flipkart and everything at a slightly lower price, around 22. So you would probably be buying this online if you at all buy it. The thickness of the phone is 10.3 mm and it is quite heavy. It weighs 190 grams. So it is pretty heavy. It's got a 5.3-inch IPS display. 720 pixel is the resolution. It's got 16 GB of internal memory. Sadly, Lenovo has not given any extendable memory to this. So you cannot put in an SD card on this phone. It's got 2 GB of internal RAM though, which is pretty nice, which is pretty good to know. The 2 GB should make this device a pretty useful and good device for multitasking. Apart from that, it's got an 8 megapixel camera on the back with a single LED flash, and the front camera is at 1.6 megapixel, which is pretty good for your selfies and voice chat, video calling purposes. 1.6 megapixel is pretty good. The rear camera also has an autofocus feature, again useful. We'll talk about that later. It runs on the Android 4.2 Jelly Bean operating system, which might be a problem for some people because there are already phones in this range which are available for with the new KitKat OS. The currently newest KitKat OS, of course, Android L is yet to come. The device, this smartphone runs on the MediaTek MT6582. It's a 1.3 GHz quad-core processor. It's okay and comes with a Mali 400 MP2 GPU. Again, that's the GPU that you'll be using for your games and some other purposes. The flagship aspect of this phone actually is its battery. It's a completely solid device. Of course, you cannot take out the battery, but this device has a 4000 mAh battery. So Lenovo has done this before. Lenovo had done this before with their P780 smartphone, which also had the 4000 mAh battery. So this phone will basically be giving you a tremendous battery life, which you most probably will not find in any other phone in this segment. So this phone, if you look at it, it's got a unibody build and looks quite nice. If you look very closely, you will see it's got a etched back, a metal finish and an etched back, pretty close to what you find in the HTC One M8. Although of course the M8 is much slimmer than this phone and of course much more expensive. Though this phone looks very similar to that in terms of this back, the sides. Of course, Lenovo's phone is also thicker. This is 10.3 mm in thickness. It's got the volume rocker and the power on and off button on the right side of the phone. I'm sure you can see this. This is the power on off button. It's a volume rocker. On the bottom of the phone, you will find the USB charging slot and the 2 speakers. And on the left side is the micro SIM slot. And on the top, Lenovo has given you the 3.5 mm headphone jack. There are buttons here as well in the bottom. They are not visible because they're not lit right now, but once you press them, they become lit. This here is your home button, your settings button and your back button. On the build side, this is a pretty well built device. It's heavy, it's 190 grams, but it doesn't feel very heavy in your hand. It's pretty easy. But if you put this in your pocket, you might feel like you're carrying around a big brick-like phone in your pocket. Although, having said that, this is a very solid looking phone. It looks like where it can take a little rough usage. It is sturdy, and if your usage is rough, then this would be a good device for you to buy. We look at Lenovo's UI. This is a lock screen. You can unlock it by swiping this to the right. To the left, you get the camera. Swipe it, unlock it. This is the UI, Lenovo UI. If you have used a Lenovo phone before, you would have seen this before. frankly, we don't really like the Lenovo UI because they've done away with the app drawer completely, the Android app drawer that you see. They've done away with that completely. Every icon is on the home screen, and they're pretty big icons, which makes your screen, you would see here, the screen looks really cluttered. And this, being a demo unit, there's not much in it, and we're already using 3 screens. So you would see that you would feel your home screen is already very cluttered. Apart from that, you wouldn't want to add any widgets to this because, already you have too many things on it. You even have folders in it, but even with the folders, you will feel like there's less space on your screen. You've got the social folder, Lenovo gives you this upfront. The social folder, you've got the tools folder, you've got some games folders, it's got your games, and you've got your other apps, whatever apps you want. Lenovo gives you some apps together. In addition, you also have the settings screen. This is the settings button, which brings you up to the settings screen. It can take you to settings, change your wallpaper, change your themes. Lenovo allows you 2 themes at first. Then your screen manager, and this is your screen manager, basically to add screens, remove screens, things like that. And it also has your desktop settings. Yeah, so desktop settings, as you can see, it's got your wallpaper scrolling effect, your desktop transition, and other things that will depend entirely on how you use your phone. In order to you get to the multitasking screen on this, you have to long press this settings button. Long pressing this gives you something like this. Here you can press this button. It's a mop like button which clears your memory. In addition, if you have apps running, it will show you apps here, and you can just swipe them out of the space to shut them down. Lenovo's UI, as we said before, cluttered. The company really needs to do something about this UI because you will most probably be downloading something like Go Launcher or something on this. The notifications tray on the top is the notifications tray, just like any other Android screen, although these two are always running. This is the endurance mode for the battery. This is the security feature that Lenovo already provides you. Here again, you can pull down from here to reveal a few more quick settings. So you've got your battery and data connection and brightness settings. You've got things like this. So these are all pretty useful. The notifications tray, there's no complaints about that. Moving on to the performance, this phone has a 1.3 GHz MediaTek quad-core processor and 2 GB RAM. You would think that would be enough for a phone like this, but unfortunately we often experience some lags in the phone during very simple things like even typing. Even when we were typing very fast, we experienced some lags in the phone while swiping. See, there were lags in the phone while swiping. Sometimes we would be done and then we would have to wait for a good 2-3 seconds for the word or whatever we've written to show up. Actually, the best way to judge the performance of the phone is by playing games on it. It does do pretty well for simple games like Temple Run and Subway Surfer with no heating, nothing. But if you're looking to play high-end games, something like say Dead Trigger 2, you would see that the phone provides quite a lag during the game. So we are playing Dead Trigger 2 on this phone. It's a pretty resource-intensive game. Requires a lot of your resource, puts your processor to the test, and let's look at the performance of the game. As you can probably see that the game is lagging a little bit. There are a few stops in between. While you run, you will often see there are stops in the game. One thing that we saw is that while playing, the game would suddenly stop absolutely completely. like we would be trying to turn and you could just not turn because of most probably the processor and the. So yeah, there is a little lag. It's not as fast as say phones like say the Grand 2. Even Grand 2 and all have performed pretty much better than this. Even on benchmarks, this phone hasn't performed very well. So there have been better phones in this range in terms of the benchmark scores, but synthetic benchmarks, as we have always said, they're not the end all and be all of things. So basically, if you're looking to play simple games, this is not a very bad phone. But if you're looking to, if you're a real serious gamer and you play high-end games like Dead Trigger 2, Real Football, the Shadowgun, Dead Zone, then this phone is not a good option. On the bright side, though, we have put this game through almost hour of gaming, and we have got no heating from it, which is pretty good, which is quite a good thing by Lenovo. Next up, let's look at the camera of this phone, which is another strong point for this smartphone. It's got an 8 megapixel rear camera with a single LED flash, as we have told you before. Uh, the camera actually performed above our expectations. It was quite good. The images are sharp and color reproduction is pretty good on this phone. They, as you can see, you have quite likely that you've seen cameras, 8 megapixel cameras, which cannot take images that are this good. Again, if you look at this, the colors on the image are pretty good. There's not a lot of blur. The images are sharp. Again. So the camera is a strong point of the phone, and there are other cameras which are not as good. Here again, here's a black and white image on this. So as you can see, the camera performs pretty well. We don't have any complaints with the camera per se, and you would find 8 megapixel cameras which do not perform as well. But probably the biggest strong point of this phone is in its battery. It's got a 4000 mAh battery, and this is something that Lenovo has done before. It has, if you remember, there was a phone called P780 which also had the 4000 mAh battery. But in comparison though, when we put this through a battery test, you can get say a full HD resolution video on full brightness and Wi-Fi on. It can run on this phone for 7 hours according to our tests, which actually we had also put the P780 through that, and the P780 can run for more. After say about an hour of playing the video on this phone lost 14% of its battery, while the P780 lost only 7%. So you can see the difference. But still, having said that, this phone will give you very good battery. The 72% that you see here is after over an hour and a half of gaming and a lot of other normal usage. So that tells you that you can easily churn out a full day's usage out of this device under normal use, and we won't be surprised if you get more either. Now the best part about the battery in this phone is that you can use this phone to charge another phone. So how that happens is Lenovo has given you this converter with the phone. So what you do is you take the phone's data cable and you connect, of course, I'm sure you guys know, you connect the data cable to this, you connect the phone, again this side. Now you can connect it to another phone. Let's say we connect it to this phone, and it's charging. It starts charging the other phone automatically. So this is a pretty nifty feature, quite useful feature for somebody who say carries two phones regularly. If you do not have a dual SIM phone, or if you have a have to carry two phones for some reason, or for some other purposes. But this is something Lenovo is giving you along with this phone. We've reviewed this phone, we've gone through the regular motions with this phone, we have checked its camera, we have checked its performance, and it's a phone that Lenovo is priced at 23,000. In the market, you will get it for a little less, around 22,500. So it puts this phone in direct competition with things like the Samsung Galaxy Grand 2, the HTC Desire 816, in fact even the Moto X. While the camera is quite good, there are, I would say, better cameras in this range. Also, the phone has some major problems in performance. The performance is definitely not as good as what you would get in a Galaxy Grand 2 and even the Moto X. The Moto X is much ahead of this phone, in fact. Although it's got a bigger screen, it's got a much bigger battery than any of these phones, and it's got a bigger battery life than any of these phones, which again is a point in its favor. So if you're planning to buy this phone, it's got good build quality, it's heavy, but it's got good build quality. You would buy this if you often take images in parties and things like that, because under normal light, it's good. But if you're looking to take a lot of impromptu pictures, then this is not good because the autofocus on this camera is very slow. This is a good phone for you if you want a phone for regular clicking images in parties and for completely normal average usage, not for any kind of specialized usage. If you're looking to play high-end games on it, this is not a good option. If you want to say multitask a lot, use a lot of apps, again this wouldn't be a good option. The UI here is not good. We would suggest you go for the HTC Desire 816 or say the the Galaxy Grand 2. They would be better options. But yeah, Lenovo has done a good job with the camera. It's got humongous battery life, so it makes a very good option for those who have intensive usage for their phones. Also, it lets you charge other phones with it, which is again a good option.